and her lover comes, and he wants her back. And
what an asshole he is.
He was a dick, right?
And we're back.
Okay, are we back?
Yes, we are.
So quiet, I could barely hear it. Okay, we're back. This week we're back. So now this week we're going to do Patricia.
Yes. My movie is ICU. It's a psychological thriller. Writer Devin Gray. I love these names. Director Adam Randolph. So easy. Okay. This movie starts out, you get two stories, but they blend into one. And I think how they do that is very well. So it opens up and there's a 10-year-old boy who goes missing and an investigator. He's Greg Harper. That's his name. He's a policeman, and he's given the job of finding this boy. But at the same time, he's having trouble in his family because he's found out that Helen Hunt, his wife, has screwed around on him, and his son are kind of freezing her out in their home. So you're brought into this home where it's really tense. And she's trying to be forgiving, and they're not having anything to do with it.
Yeah.
But she's pretty nauseating in this, I gotta say.
I didn't think so. Worse.
So the wife's had an affair, and as this movie opens, you see her trying to talk to her. You see things happen in the house, like photographs missing out of their frame. You see silverware gone. And that's why I thought it was a supernatural, which really was going to let me down because been there, done that. You know what I mean? And nobody seems to notice it but her. So it goes along and the husband leaves and her lover comes. And he wants her back. And
what an asshole he is.
He was a dick, right? And she's trying to say, she's taking him outside going, I don't want this, I don't want this. When all of a sudden a mug comes out of nowhere and hits this guy on the head. He's kind of hurt. So she takes him kind of to the basement. And then and she's trying to, take away the blood and everything. Well, then it cuts to these two kids, a guy and a girl who are doing what they call frogging. And there are people who do this.
It's a real thing, yeah.
It is.
Would that be a spoiler?
Frogging, no.
Yes.
Well,
frogging
will be spoiler at the time.
They say what it is in the movie.
But
halfway through it.
I'm doing
funny.
it anyway.
I've actually never heard of that term until this movie.
But apparently it's a real thing.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and so people go into other people's houses and they live there for as much time as they want.
Couple of days.
And they kind of live off their stuff without the family knowing they're there. Now, some people, like the girl, she just wants to, she's a dedicated frogger. She just wants to, stay in the house, eat their food, find a secret place to sleep. But the kid, the boy, he wants to more like, he gets kind of freaky with
He's a nut job.
Yeah, that's what he is. He is a nut job, you think. And then the stories come together and you see everything that just played at the beginning. You see he took the silverware. He took the pictures. He threw the mug. And so all of a sudden you're left with what?
Good way not to do a reveal.
No. You see all this. You see all this of the movie. And so, because that's not the psychological thriller part. Right.
You're right.
So then, and this is where I don't want to go too far into it, is that she goes to drive, Helen Hunt goes to drive her son to school. So you see the boyfriend there, and somebody whacks him with a baseball bat. The girl, meanwhile...
And kills him.
And the Frogger girl goes down to get their stuff because she says, okay, this is getting too freaky. We're going to get out of here. She sees something, and then it's kind of like a fight for their life. That's all I'm going to say about it, but it's really good.
So only 50% spoilers.
That wasn't everything I've just said. They show in the movie.
Don't listen to them.
Yeah,
listen to her.
that's what makes it a spoiler.
No, the spoiler is the next part.
Yes. line.
Well, this is a movie I thought I was not going to like, but I was surprised by this one.
You weren't bored, is what you said.
Basically, exactly. Because I just thought, this is going to be sort of a cliche kind of thing.
Exactly.
You've seen this. But to be quite honest, it starts off, and when you see the first boy sort of come off his bike in a way, I thought, this is going to be a weird supernatural kind of thing. But it turns out not. It's like you said, it's more psychological.
Right.
So when you go with it, and as I was discussing earlier, and I think this still holds true, this is a film in 3 acts. You have an introduction of the family and the situation that's just happened that you saw.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the second part, and then you have the conclusion. So this is sort of I really sort of stuck with this movie out of almost all the movies, because American Fiction, I didn't get to watch. I saw it at the movie theater, so I didn't have to rewatch that one. All the others, I sort of had to watch and stop and then watch again. This is the only movie where it's like, I could sort of sit through this entire movie. And the reason being is that, it just tells this simple, I think a very simple
story.
And yet psychologically, like you said, it does get a little complicated. You have to pay attention.
Yeah.
One thing I did not like about it was the cinematography, because there were some scenes that were so dark, and they talk about it, certain things. I said, I don't get it. I don't know what they're talking about because it was so dark. I didn't see something. But then, it's like, okay, just, sort of go with what's happening. And I will say this, I thought performances by all the cast were actually pretty good.
Yeah.
To my surprise. It's like even the young talent, there's Helen Hunt and John Tenney played this couple. So John Tenney's the one who plays the Greg Harper character, who's a police detective. Helen Hunt plays Jackie Harper, the wife, and they're sort of estranged. I'm trying to think. Judah Lewis plays the son. But it was this Owen Teague and this Liebe Barrer playing Mindy, the couple of people. That was sort of added dimension. And then at the very end, like you said, the last half hour, I would say, of the movie is sort of fascinating, because like, where is this really going? And I think as a viewer, when you watch this movie, you really don't get it, but you might suspect certain things. I mean, that's the great thing when they throw out the red herrings. This is a great movie that has a lot of red herrings, and then you scratch your head and you think, what's going on? But like you said, at least at the end, I don't think there's a false note. It really does
Bring it together.
Seem like, logical,
Yeah.
sort of smart in a way.
Everything makes sense then.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So I will say this, that as much as it was the director, that's Devon Gray, I thought, you know what? I think he did sort of a nice little job doing this neat little thriller. I would call this a B movie, but it was completely a good, solid B movie. So I will give it to the director and I guess the writer.
Yeah.
Directed by Adam Randall. No, screenplay by, I guess, Devon Randall, right?
Didn't you
Writer is
identify the
Devon-
director before?
Yeah, Adam Randall was the director, and Devon Gray was the screenplay by. So,
Is it
So
taken
anyway.
from a main source book, or anything like that?
no, original screenplay. So I would actually sort of recommend this if you see. These are the type of movies I sort of enjoy, because you don't expect much, and like I said, go into it as, I'm going to watch a B movie, but it was like, wow. From beginning to end, I watched the whole thing, and for me now, that's an accomplishment. So that's the best recommendation I can do. I didn't fall asleep during this movie.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this movie too. Now, which I'm at this, the problem about telling people what the supernatural is, because it has a supernatural thing element to it.
Where?
There's two things. There's the people living in the house, and all these things happen, all the supernatural stuff, like the
rodent?
Just all the supernatural things keep happening. He says, and then you have the second story, which is there's a serial killer taking children, and you think, is this supernatural? Is a supernatural being trying to tell them who the serial killer is? That's what I thought initially.
Where did you think it was supernatural?
because everything
there's
initially when you
stuff
watch
that
it, it's so
just
No,
supernatural.
like I said
I
before,
don't think
it's literally the opening.
Yeah, the opening.
I'm sorry, you see a boy riding a bike and he gets pulled
Yeah.
off the bike and
But
flies
then,
in the air.
yeah, but then you have the lady and the TV goes on and she turns it off and it
Right.
goes on by
Right.
Yeah,
again.
that shot with the
Right.
kid was over.
And then you have
The guy with the record.
and then she opens,
Silverware?
and
Oh,
then
the
she's got a
silverware
silverware, and she got a cup, and then the woman, the guy's talking to the boyfriend, the lover, and he kiss it. So it does have a supernatural element. Now I would say that if you're watching a movie, you think this is a supernatural element,
Right.
but you killed it for you because she said there's some children hiding in there doing that. Because initially I thought it was but I'm like, God, this because
That's not the big part.
no, but people are watching it. When I watched it the second time around, I already knew that there was kids in there, so
Right.
it killed it for me. The whole supernatural thing. When I first watched it, the first time I watched it, I thought it was a supernatural
Yeah,
phenomena
me too.
that was telling them trying to tell them who the serial killer is. But once you find out that the supernatural phenomenon is not supernatural, that's in halfway through the movie. That killed halfway through the movie. So just forward to halfway through the movie because
No, don't do that.
no, because now you know, but you say so to me that's a spoiler because now you find out it's not supernatural. That was part of the charm of the movie. That oh, what's going on? Having said that, now that we know that it's not supernatural, and then you screw up your whole first hour in the movie.
I don't think I did. Right?
I don't think so either.
Anyway, but now we find out that it's not a
And now he's
supernatural
going to
event.
give it away here.
Now that we know it's not a supernatural event, there's some kids that are frogging and staying in this place. Now they get involved in this whole serial killer thing, and like I said, when I watched it initially, I thought it was a supernatural event, and then I found out, oh no, these kids stay in this place and they're doing all that. But then there's a separate story, which is this serial killer taking children. When I forgot about the second half of the story, when I watched it, I guess like, oh shoot, that was like, oh, it still had a big twist, even though my first part was killed. Or the story. My second part was not killed because I was like, damn, there's still a twist in this movie that's pretty interesting. So yeah, it's really kept me the whole time. I was like, oh, so no, it's good. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Oh, so it actually did, the first time you watched it did keep you in suspense, though, right?
Oh yeah, because I thought it was a
Okay,
supernatural
yeah.
movie. I thought that was a.
She thought it was going
I thought
one way
I thought it was
and
like,
it went a
I
different way.
thought it was a ghost of a
Right.
dead child.
Oh, no, so did I. You're
trying
right.
to tell them who the killer was.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but watching it again, and whatever,
Right.
I still was like, oh, I forgot about that second part of it, and again I was like, oh damn, I was still shocked with the twist. So no, it was good. Yeah, I still enjoyed it.
Okay, well, one thing I'll say about it is the shot of the kid being pulled off his bike by something invisible is like, okay, this is going to be supernatural.
Yeah,
And then when you do find out what happened, I by that time I said, oh, this is not a supernatural movie, so there's going to be some explanation to that. But it did pique your interest. I remember seeing that this movie is not a new movie. It's been around for a long time.
Well, 2019, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, and I had it was on Netflix, I think, and I had it on my queue to watch. And every now and then I said, "Oh yeah, there's that ICU. This is probably going to be like some monster in a hospital." ICU, the ICU.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay.
Oh, that's funny.
That
You
is
didn't
funny.
pick up on that?
No.
Well, I thought it was going to be okay. So it's going to be something like that. It wasn't. I mean, it's SEEYOU. And I said, "Oh, I don't know. Looks like it's kind of interesting." And then, right around the time of the big twist, I said, "I've seen this." I had watched the movie before, and I'd completely forgotten the first part of it. But once something happens at that point there, I said, "Oh yeah, I watched this movie." So obviously, the first time around, I didn't find it
right?
memorable.
Right.
Right.
But and I thought it was like, yeah, it's very gimmicky. As everybody else is saying, approach this as a B movie, and you might really have a good time with it. It's the actors are not bad. I just to me it was like, well, obviously it wasn't. I wouldn't call it a memorable movie for me because
Obviously.
yeah. But it was like curious in that because I wondered why is that no longer on my queue, and then I started watching it and like I didn't remember any of the first half of the movie.
Oh wow.
That's sort of surprising because, see, I thought that opening was really impressive. I really did.
Yeah.
I didn't even remember
Yeah.
that from the first time I saw it.
Okay.
But by the time I was watching it the second time, I said, "Oh, there's going to be a natural explanation for what happened with that kid on the bike. There's a cord that we didn't see, or something like that."
Oh,
you know?
no, that's what I assume, but yeah.
But anyway, I mean, it doesn't challenge you. It probably won't put you to sleep. So enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't realize it, but I had actually seen this film years ago.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, it's not my favorite genre, but
Microphone.
Yeah.
There you go.
so at first it was everything that I didn't like about these
Right.
horror thriller
children.
types.
Horror
I don't like movies about children getting
Kidnapped
killed,
and stuff,
killed.
yeah.
But you
Yeah.
like black folk?
Great.
I understand that.
You
yeah.
like black folk?
Helen
Yeah, but still it's
Helen
disturbing.
Hunt, as the mother and wife, has had an affair. She can't stop apologizing for it.
You just want to slap her.
Yeah, through the to her husband, and the son cannot forgive her. This
And I'm
most,
thinking,
hold on.
oh,
Am I doing this?
oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm cutting that off.
This emotional tension in the house is almost painful. There's so much
Anger.
stuff going on, emotional
Yes, I
stuff
agree.
going on.
And you feel it.
Yes.
You really feel
With
it.
the son
yeah.
too.
Exactly.
He's second
Yeah.
with his mother.
As the husband is investigating this murder that of children,
No, disappearance. Not really a murder. Disappearance.
Of children. It dominates the first half of the film, but then it changes. Two young kids enter the scene, and we realize they are frogging, basically staying in our protagonists' homes unnoticed and unobserved. Then they present us with their observations from their point of view. Everything that we just saw, we see again, but from their point of view. This was a different way to put a really great spin on everything. It became very interesting to me. All of a sudden, it was like, what? What's okay? So they have a lot to do with it, and then it's kind of like two different movies come together and take you to a different place. And I really thought this was really clever. When I was actually researching this, I got a lot of negative reviews on this.
Yeah.
It was like,
Oh,
this
really?
is bad,
Yeah.
this is
Really?
bad.
A lot of them.
I thought this
Really?
was actually quite brilliant.
Me too.
They did a really interesting spin on it, on these kind of movies. And I really liked it. It was great.
I was going to say, I didn't find it brilliant, but I did, like I said, because of the 3 acts, I liked how I watched the first act, and then it's like, oh, it gets better in the second act, and then the third act is really just, like I said, it brings everything home. So,
And
yeah.
it took me, and for me, it was a shocker.
Yeah, me too.
For me, it was a shocker.
Yeah.
Okay. I found it sort of predictable, but like I said,
There's
it was
especially at
it
the
was
very
thoroughly.
end.
Yeah.
Even
but
though
the-
I sort of knew certain things, it was
The
still
very, very
entertaining.
end.
But the two shockers to me, and
Don't say
you
it.
can blunt if you want, was actually the actual boy of the Froggers.
Right? That was shocking.
He was actually turns out to be,
One of the two.
not as shitty as you think he is.
No.
And
Well, he's a nut job, but then you realize he's also
Why is it
Yeah.
that job?
instrumental
Well,
to
that's
the
funny.
movie.
See,
Yeah,
I
he's-
didn't find him to be a nut job.
oh,
I
he's a
did.
nut job.
I did.
No, he could have gone off
He's
that
a
road
nut
until the
job.
girl gets
Yeah.
hurt. And then you kind of see his.
But
he's
and
the
also the other ending, the other part of it, it was like, oh, whoa! I never even thought that.
Me either.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I don't know,
it-
this a nut job going up against a nut job.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I didn't think it was a nut job. I thought he was a little quirky because
No,
he saved himself.
well, the thing is, like you said, since we
He
talked
starts
about
out
the
being
frogging, I'm
quirky and then
sorry,
he
that's
goes-
something that normal people don't do. So
Right.
you have two people who I don't find normal in general. So it's like, okay. But I literally didn't think they were nut jobs. or even
No,
just...
the
You
girl,
know,
was,
him-
the girl was
him.
not a nut
He was a
job.
social-
No,
He
that's what I'm
was.
saying. No, but the two of them together. That's what I'm saying. I didn't find that.
Well, I didn't
But
find her a nut
what
job
was
at all.
interesting? Well, see, I claim you can say they're both nut jobs because of what they're doing.
Well, yeah,
So
but
my thing is, but I didn't find the two of them. I didn't find them too unusual. Literally, with the exception of, okay, you can say he does something unusual, but the thing is, like, it's not out of the ordinary. And again, I say that only because of their age, since it's
Right.
sort of
But
young.
also she
Not out of the ordinary.
Yeah, but remember
she's
she
normal.
Yeah, but
He
remember
isn't.
they did what they did, but she had rules.
Yeah.
This we don't do,
She
we
was
don't do
very
that.
stickler
And it
to
was
that.
like, no, I want to do this.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, it's like the Joker.
Yeah, but you see his
But
whole
you're right about
personality.
that. That I
Yeah.
thoroughly agree
So
with.
that I go, this guy's
You
a
see his whole
sociopath.
personality change when she
like-
gets injured
like-
and he goes out after her.
No, exactly.
Then he doesn't
Yeah.
turn
I'm like,
around.
girl,
That's
you
what I
need a
said, that's
different
what I told
boyfriend.
I get a different boyfriend. And that's what I was saying to the girl
Yeah.
in Whiplash. I get a different boyfriend.
Which
and
I'm sure she did because
and
he
she
dumped
did.
her.
And she did.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I
Bob,
gave this
did
film
you
a
make it
5.
2? Oh, 5.
A 5.
Yeah.
No, the funny because I already had seen the movie, and it shocked me the first time, and the second time, I was like, damn, what happened? So I will give it an 8 because I was
Oh,
still
wow.
shocked.
Yeah.
I seen it twice, and I got shocked twice.
Bob doesn't,
He's a-
I give this a 9 in
Oh my
that
goodness,
kind of
wow.
I give
horror
it a 9
thing.
too.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I thought it was
Yeah.
great.
We'll be back.
We'll be back.